Wow.
Skip, Blake Griffin. Has he been overhyped?
Stephen A. Smith, I have said from the start, Blake Griffin has been overhyped. Now, he did have a nice game last night. You can argue a breakout playoff game with 30 points, and he did have 7 assists. Once again, though, he missed 7 free throws, 10 out of 17, had only 5 rebounds. And I've said from the start, he's overhyped as more of a sensationally athletic leaper than a great basketball player. I'm more interested in great basketball player. Too many people, to me, want another real-life Avenger. Oh, look, Blake can fly. He can jump over, well, the hood of a car, not the roof of a car, but he can jump over the hood of a Kia. He's been too much to me of a one-trick pony, and I watched almost every dribble of his college basketball days at the University of Oklahoma. It's built so much the hype on this one thing he does as opposed to what he doesn't do. Not a great defender, not much of a shot blocker, as you know, not much of a shooter over about 2 feet away from the basket.
Not true.
A lousy free throw shooter, hangs around 50% this year. And for all of his ferocious dunks, he's not much of a tough guy. In fact, he's becoming known, and we're going to talk about this a little later, as a flopper. Chris Webber called him out on TNT last night in the third quarter for flopping. So that adds up to me to overhype.
Well, I think you're going a little bit. I think you're going a little bit too far there. Blake Griffin can play. He's no scrub. He is electrifying. He is sensational. And I think that when you look at some of the elements of his game, he definitely has to improve his free throw shooting. He has to continue to improve his jumper. But this is a dude that can put the ball on the floor. He can post you up, and he certainly can finish. Now, is he Kevin Love? No, because Kevin Love is ultra skilled.
Wow.
Has a perimeter shot. He's a better power forward, bottom line.
So you take Kevin Love over Blake?
Absolutely.
Wow.
In terms of as a basketball player.
It's a mouthful, but I'm with you.
There is no question that he is better than Blake Griffin. But I wouldn't call Blake Griffin overhyped. If anything, I think he lives up to the hype. Because when you talk about Blake Griffin, nobody ever accuses him of being a great basketball player. What they accuse him of is providing sensational highlight reels.
Are you good with that?
Well, I'm not good with it if you're a scrub. I'm not good with it if all you can do, like, for example, I have a level of affection, for example, for Darryl Dawkins. I think that Darryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder from years ago in the 70s and 80s, or actually the 70s. I mean, this guy, I really felt like, you know, I know he's a nice guy. But I've never been a fan of Darryl Dawkins, the player, because all he did was dunk. And he shattered a backboard, you know, over 30 years ago, and everybody was a Chocolate Thunder. But when you look at his game, he was a foul waiting to happen. When he went against Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish in the Boston Celtics, I mean, please, you could book it. He was in foul trouble within the first 6 minutes.
I'll give Blake Griffin better than Darryl Dawkins.
Blake Griffin, I'm just saying, that's not the analogy that you would use to describe Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin can play the game of basketball. Blake Griffin can average 20 a night. Blake Griffin can average a double-double. Plus, he provides a sensational. And when I talk about stars, when you're talking about stars like Carmelo Anthony and guys like that, clearly Blake Griffin's not in that class of player. Don't get me wrong. But there is something to be said for being box office. When you are box office and you live up to that billing night in, night out, I've got to give you your props for that. And Blake Griffin does that. And again, he's got a ways to go to improve his game, but he is no scrub. He can play, and he's box office, so I would not say he's overhyped because nobody's coming to the arena to watch him score 30. They're coming to the arena to watch.
Does he deserve, though, to be one of the faces of the league?
Yes.
That's what he's become.
Yes.
He does.
Because again, he can put up 20 and 10. Plus, he's box office.
Right.
And that, to me, warrants you being a face of the league. We'll talk about Webber and what he said later and all of that stuff. And there are some kinks in his game. But you got to remember, this is really his full second year in the league. He was drafted 3 years ago, but he didn't play his entire rookie campaign.
Right.
So this is only his second year in the league. I think he's got a tremendous upside. I love his game.
Can you build a contending team just around Blake Griffin?
Not just around him.
You cannot.
But he can be a key component. What I'm trying to say to you is that, listen, clearly you look at Chris Paul, you can build a team around Chris Paul. You can't, I'm talking about as your franchise dude.
Right.
You look at Blake Griffin, he's not that. But do I want him? Oh, yes. I want him on my roster. I want him in my starting five.
Skip, is there one player in the NBA that you can win a championship with? What we've seen here is that you need help.
given all of Blake Griffin's hype and endorsements, all of his off the court,
right,
you would think that he was a franchise player, and he's not a franchise player.
I got a news for you. Let me ask you a question. Is he better than Sean Kemp was?
No.
Sean Kemp?
I don't think he is. I think Sean Kemp was a better scorer all around. Had more of a mid-range.
And what I would say to you is the jury is still out because it's only a second year.
Yep.
See, I mean, you're not wrong, but it's just that you're looking at total. I'm looking at the fact that this dude, he's climbing. He's getting
still
better.
very early.
Okay.
It's very early.